Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. Today I want to talk to you about narcissists and depression. It's a common misconception that narcissists don't get depressed, that they are completely happy with who they are and have no feelings anyway. While this could be the case with some psychopaths, for the majority of narcissists, this is not true. In general, narcissistic people are actually prone to depression because of their self-directed anger, their inability to self-soothe or to regulate their emotions, and because their expectations are so unrealistic, they end up disappointed a lot of the time. They are also prone to depression because they're empty. They need constant affirmation, stimulation, validation, attention, and energy, or what some people call supply, from other people to feel real and to feel any type of self-worth. They needed to combat the internal abuse they pile on themselves. When they don't get it, the walls start to close in on them. All they can hear is the nasty self-hatred and yawning emptiness that's a part of their every waking moment. They have no internal psychological structure that is strong enough to fight that off, so they become depressed. This is one of the reasons that, even though it isn't talked about very often, narcissists are susceptible to suicide. There's a very pervasive misconception that narcissists love themselves so much and think so highly of themselves that they would never even consider suicide. This is not true at all. Multiple studies over the last 30 years or so, including a 15-year follow-up on patients from an inpatient psychiatric facility, have shown that people with narcissistic personality disorder or narcissistic traits are significantly more likely to die from suicide, even during periods when they're not suffering from depression. This is probably because narcissists' ability to self-soothe and create good feelings in order to combat the bad ones is basically non-existent. When they get into a bad place emotionally, it's very difficult for them to get out. They are also really impulsive and they think with their feelings. These are all personality traits and problems that contribute to things like suicide. As we've discussed in previous episodes of the show, even one small mistake can create a domino effect in a narcissist's mind that can lead very quickly to suicidality. A pathological narcissist who was fine this morning can be on the brink of disaster by the afternoon. This is one of the reasons their hysteria and suicidal threats can seem so convincing. On some level, it's very real. It can be, and often is, a manipulation tactic, but it can also be true. Probably in some part of their mind, it's all true. Pathologically narcissistic people hate themselves. They are miserable and disordered, and they have seriously delusional self-opinions. They secretly believe they are defective rejects, toxic waste, garbage, that they're worthless, unlovable, hideous, disgusting. They have constructed all of this fakery to create the illusion that these things are not true. However, they still believe that it's all true, and it doesn't take much to shatter those illusions. And when that happens, they want to die. They feel there's no escape from what they are and how they feel. The thought of suicide can actually be a comfort to them in a weird way because it provides them with an escape route. In many narcissistic people, suicidal thoughts and impulses are always present. In others, these feelings only surface when they have decompensated or what some call collapsed. Collapse and depression are often brought on by the loss of something the narcissist wants or used to have. Essentially, if they can't have what they want, their lives are not worth living. It's really a shame when you think about it. That's really an awful way to live. Now, this is where your boundaries come in. It's very easy to feel sorry for someone in this situation, especially when you're afraid that they could harm themselves, but you have to stay firm. Nobody can tell you if the narcissist will really commit suicide when they don't get what they want because there's no way to know that. It's doubtful, but it's not impossible. So what does this mean for you? To be perfectly honest, nothing. You're not in charge of other people's actions, you're not responsible for their behavior, and you cannot stay in a relationship as a hostage simply to prevent somebody from hurting themselves. Not only is this wrong, it doesn't work anyway. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated. Of course, we should not ignore suicidal threats. If you really feel that someone's in danger, you need to call the authorities. But don't subject yourself to abuse because of it. In the end, you're only going to end up resenting them anyway. A person who is threatening suicide needs help, regardless of why they're doing it, and they need more help than you can provide. So help them. Call 911. They will get the help that they need, and you will no longer be in such a terrible situation. Regardless of whether it's a real threat or a manipulation, it's not a situation you want to be in. So many times we know the right thing to do, but our feelings get in the way. When we stop reacting emotionally and start reacting logically, the decisions suddenly become a lot clearer. Hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. I take appointments online and over the phone Monday through Friday, so if you're interested in speaking with me, you can visit littleshaman.org and click the Book an Appointment tab to go ahead and do that. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.